July 28, 1943, 07:42 a.m. Solomon Islands, Pacific Ocean. The sky was clear. The ocean below looked calm. But nothing about this morning was peaceful. A single American fighter climbed into the rising sun, engines roaring, metal trembling under power. The pilot knew he shouldn't be airborne. Command wanted him to wait. Logic wanted him to wait. But he didn't. Because 64 Japanese fighters were coming, and there was nobody else between them and the men on the ground. One man, one aircraft, no backup, no escape, only courage, and the belief that maybe, somehow, he could hold the sky. He checked his gauges. Fuel wasn't full. Ammunition wasn't perfect. His hands shook slightly on the throttle. Not fear. Focus. He wasn't a hero in that moment. He was a man who accepted death as a possibility and chose to fly anyway. The Japanese formation was already reported inbound. Faster. More agile. More of them than anyone wanted to imagine. He could have waited. He could have turned back. But if he did, men would die helpless, with no one even trying to protect them. That was unacceptable. The radio crackled with voices warning him. "Too many, don't engage." He didn't answer. He didn't need to. Ahead of him, the sky began to change. Dark dots formed on the horizon. Small at first, then larger, shimmering wings reflecting the morning sun. Fighters, swarms of them, not a patrol, not a small escort. A sky full of trained killers heading straight toward Allied territory. 64 aircraft, against one lone American fighter. Every survival instinct screamed "RU," but he pushed forward, straight toward them. They saw him, one man challenging them alone. They split. Attack formations unfolding like knives in the air. Their plan was simple: surround, overwhelm, destroy. No mercy. No hesitation. The first wave dived. Machine guns opened fire, tracer rounds slicing past his cockpit. He didn't panic, didn't freeze. Instead, he did the only thing that made sense. He attacked first, full throttle, straight into them. The sky exploded into chaos. He fired. A Japanese fighter burst into smoke and flame. One down. 63 to go. They expected him to flee. He didn't. He dove, climbed, rolled, fought like a man who forgot what fear was. He refused turning traps, refused panic. He chose angles that forced the enemy into mistakes. Each second was survival purchased by instinct, training, and raw determination. Every movement was a gamble. Every shot mattered. Another aircraft spiraled into the sea. Then another. Suddenly the hunters realized something terrifying. They weren't just chasing prey. They were fighting someone who refused to die. Now the sky truly screamed. Dozens circled him, engines roaring, guns flashing. His cockpit shook violently. Metal tore. Smoke filled the air. One Japanese fighter clipped wings with another trying to reach him. Another stalled in a desperate overpull. In their hunger to destroy him, they were rushing, making mistakes, bleeding strength. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was breaking their rhythm, breaking their confidence, breaking their belief that numbers alone guaranteed victory. Rounds punched through his wings. Oil splattered his canopy. Warning lights blinked. He should have turned back. But there was nowhere to turn. There was no safe. There was only forward. He gritted his teeth and stayed in the fight. Every hit hurt more than the last. But every second he remained in the air meant more time for Allied positions to prepare, more time for lives to be saved. He was no longer fighting for himself. He was fighting for everyone behind him. They expected him to fall. He didn't. He kept coming back. Again. 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 Japanese pilots who were used to dominance began to hesitate. They had never seen someone refuse fate like this. One misjudged. He was there instantly. Burst. Flames. Another vanished into the sea. Another froze moments too long. Gone. The formation broke. What was once an organized wave became fragments. Aggressiveness turned into caution. Caution turned into doubt. Suddenly, it wasn't just a dogfight. It was psychological war. They began to fear getting close, fear the unexpected, fear him. He wasn't invincible. He wasn't superhuman. He was relentless. And relentless terrifies even the strongest enemy. They attacked in smaller groups now, nervous, cautious, testing. He punished hesitation with precision. Every time they came, he answered with fury. Then reality struck. Low fuel, low ammunition. A damaged aircraft barely holding together. His options were disappearing. He took a breath, looked at the sky full of enemies still remaining, and he made a decision no textbook ever approved, but every warrior understands. He kept fighting anyway, not because probabilities said he could win, but because quitting meant others would die. He threw his aircraft into moves that risked breaking it in half. But hesitation meant death. The engine howled in protest. Wings strained at their limits. He fired his last effective bursts. Another enemy down. Another terrified into disengaging. The formation finally stopped pressing forward. They didn't retreat out of mercy. They retreated because chasing him meant dying, and none of them wanted to be the next one to fall. One by one, they pulled away. Not because they couldn't kill him, but because they no longer wanted to try. The sky, once a storm of death, slowly went silent. He didn't cheer, didn't celebrate. He simply breathed. For the first time in what felt like years, his aircraft shook, engines coughing, fuel nearly gone. But somehow the distant runway appeared. Like a miracle carved into the earth, he lined up, wheels slammed down, metal screeched. He stopped. Silence. Ground crews rushed toward him. He opened the canopy, hands trembling, face pale. He didn't look like a hero. He looked human, exhausted, broken by effort, saved only by will. But his aircraft told the truth, holes everywhere, scars everywhere, but standing, just like him. He faced 64 enemy fighters. He shot multiple aircraft down. He shattered their attack. He changed the outcome of that morning. Not with strength, not with numbers, but with heart. History doesn't always celebrate quiet heroes. But on that morning in 1943, one man proved that courage can stand against impossible odds, and sometimes courage wins.